So when you're jotting down your information, make sure you're plucking the good stuff out of the question in addition to your not options, your parts there, A, B, C, D, okay? This way you know what the question was asking you and you don't just have a bunch of answers in your book that you don't know where to go. Other helpful paper to have out is that paper we did on Friday with the calculator stuff on the one side. You know what I'm talking about? The like binomial, whatever. I can't think of the words. Monday morning. That's one. Finding the properties with the calculator. That piece. All right. Because that's going to be really helpful. Just start jotting down the important information and then the parts of the question. How we doing? We ready? More or less, most people, kind of sort of. All right, I'm gonna read it. Rich has been given a 10-question multiple choice quiz in his history class. Each question has 5 answers, so you think about like A, B, C, D. Right? Obviously only one's correct. Richard has not attended classes recently, so he doesn't know any of the answers. Assuming he guesses on all 10 questions, we want to find these different probabilities. So, things that we need to answer any question are what? What 3 things are we always looking for? N, R, P, and Q, right? Those are the things we need. So, I'm going to shrink this a little. And R is going to change between the questions. I'm not going to write R right away. So P and Q we can. So N is what? What does N stand for? Exactly, the number of trials, right? So in this case, our number of trials is the number of questions, which is what? 10. So that's your N. The probability of success is him guessing the right answer, right? So how many right answers are there? There's not 10 right answers, there's 10 questions. There's one right answer out of how many choices? Out of 5. So 1 out of 5, right over here, is picking the correct spot, right? Which is how much? 20%. That's what we want, right? So he's got a 20% chance of guessing right, which means what else? Right? There's a 80% chance he's going to get it wrong. So those are the crucial values that we need to pull right from that question. And now we can go do the individual parts based on our R value. So A, they want to know the probability that he will answer all the questions correctly. So what does that mean? R is going to equal what? All the questions right. 10 questions, right? All 10 right. So now here, this is up to you. If you want to use the Binom PDF, if you want to use the packet, if you want to use the weird formula with the NCR and all that other stuff, have at it. I don't really care. I personally would either use table out of the packet or the Binom PDF, just because those are quicker and easier. And different go. Just go find out. That's what you should have put in the calculator if you did Binom PDF. You should get some crazy looking answers. They talked about those crazy looking answers. What do you got? talked about these guys. What does that mean? What does that e to the negative 7 mean? Exactly, right? Like scientific notation, and that means move my decimal 7 places that way. So what's going to happen? I'm going to have a bunch of what? 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. So usually I tell you to write out what? 4 decimal places. If I write out 4 decimal places, what's going to happen? 0. So what are the odds of him getting all 10 correct? 0. Right? It's not going to happen. It's an impossible event, more or less. With a 20% chance of getting the question correct, those are his odds on the crap. All right. So there's A. Let's talk B. B says the probability that he will answer all questions incorrectly. So what is that? What does that mean? What are we looking for? 0, right? He's not getting any right. This is all 10 correct. This is none right. So go ahead and go find us that probability. Good morning. I'll tell you they're up there in a nice fancy holder now. Because I've asked for that since September. It's really for my other classes, but it may happen to some of you. I make them put their phone in there when they take their calculator. I couldn't make you put your phone in the little slot thing. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Well, I got an answer? What you got? Okay. Beautiful. So approximately 11% of the time, you would get none of them correct. Horrible odds. Be quite likely. Says, what is the probability that you will answer at least one of the questions correctly? So we talked about this at least, right? You can compute this probability 2 ways. You can use the probability using the table, because all the values are there. You can quickly just put that together. Or you can use what we were talking about on Friday and previous days. If I'm looking for the probability that R is greater than or equal to 1, that does not work for my probability, for my binom CDF. Remember that binom CDF is for less than or equal to. So if that's what I'm looking for, you're ultimately doing 1 minus the probability that R would equal 0. Compare the results. Should they be equal? Are they equal? If not, how do we account for that difference? So we want to answer, like we said, that at least one of them is correct. So we said we can't do binom CDF this way. We have to change it to the probability that R is less than or equal to what? This is where that finding probabilities with your calculator worksheet might be helpful. Just saying. It's out there. You got it. Oh, I think you weren't here Friday, right?
Oh,
You. You here Friday?
yeah, that's it. Well, no, it wasn't.
No, you wasn't. I was like, I have you mocked up, so.
I'm not gonna be in tomorrow.
I was gonna say, is this it?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
did
we're
this.
looking.
On Friday, so you're gonna wanna get this info.
What? What's up?
Everybody else was here Friday. Danny, you still not here. Hmm. What number? What number am I gonna put there? No more. Look at the paper. You'll find that scenario. Then tell me what we put. Good morning. Good to see you. I know, hi over here. Hi. Yes.
You come back?
Where are you next period?
I'm what? I have whole week. I can come.
No, it's fine. I'm off 2-3, so that's what I was saying.
I'm in the
I
corner.
can wander.
Okay.
Okay,
51B?
perfect. Thank you
I'll
so
bring
much.
it to you.
No problem. What number? One is what my N is. I mean, my R is, sorry. You're not looking at the worksheet apparently. Where's R greater than?
7. 100. 99. 2, 0.
What's the number? What's the
That was
number?
all Leo.
Leo, what's the number? 0. Right? If I can't be greater than or equal to 1, I have to be the opposite. So if I can't be greater than or equal to 1, I must be less than or equal to her. 0. Alright, doesn't make sense.
I knew that.
Yeah, you're testing us. If you look, it is number 3, well, number 3, or the third one down on that binomial side. It says, for x greater than or equal to r, we have np and r minus 1. Yes? R minus 1. R minus 1. 1 minus 1, 0. Right? Now I can do that binomial CDF. If you look at that spot that I was just saying, that third one there, it tells you do 1 minus the binomial CDF. Why? Because I want the opposite of what I'm actually calculating. And that's why we do 1 minus. If I'm calculating what I'm looking for, it's straight out binomial CDF. If I'm looking for the alternative, if I've changed it, you have to do 1 minus. So our N is still 10, probability of success is still 20, and our R is 0. So throw that in your calculator, go find me that value. Everybody should be doing it on the calculator, and if you don't know how to do it, you better find a friend who shows you. We did this worksheet on Friday, so just make sure you get the answer from someone.
Oh, I already got that.
Oh, okay. I missed that. You weren't here Friday, though. I said you weren't here Friday.
No, I came late,
Did you? And I gave it to you?
and then I got it
Good
tomorrow.
job, me. What do we got? And should that make sense compared to R equals 0?
Yeah.
Yes, really, you could have done 1 minus 1074 and gotten that same number. Good? So there's a couple of questions there. Should they be equal? Obviously, we know the answers, but should they be equal? The two answers from the table and the formula, could they be equal? No. Right? Are they equal? You could check, right? And if not, it says, how do you account for that difference? We talked about this. Your table only goes up to 3 decimal values, yes? When we do them in the calculator, we can get many more decimal places, and those rounding errors can alter your answers ever so slightly. So just beware. All right, we want to know what is the probability that Richard will answer at least half of these questions correctly. So what are we looking for? At least means that or more, and yes, half of them would be 5. Now what? Can I do that? No. So what do we do? With it, so it's going to be the probability that R is less than or equal to who?
4.
4. Leo's with me. Then minus 1. 5 minus 1, 5. Right? Always n minus 1. Okay, so go ahead, do your 1 minus binomial CDF. Then let's find out. Yes, thank you. I had 5 on the board. I would have screwed you up. What we got? What'd you get?
0, 3, 2, 7.
What's the number after 7?
8.
Yeah.
Oh, 8.
I was gonna say, I have an 8 on my paper, I don't know. I was like, maybe I messed up. But I don't know. So about 3% of the time, he would get half of those questions, at least half of those questions correct. Good? Because now you're gonna practice one without me.
For B, why is it 0.1?
Point, it's always, it goes N, P, and then your R. So P is your probability of success. So our probability of success for all of them was 20%, because that's getting the question correct, 1 out of 5. So that P value sticks unless we change the question. Like if they asked you, if he, like, when they did the incorrect one, where was that? That was this one? Yes. All incorrect. You could ultimately change your probability of success to 80% and change that to 10. Make sense? So it depends on how the question is phrased, but your probability of success is always what's in there unless the question has reversed. P is always your probability of success, and that's where it is. Good? Yes, yes. Any other questions? Now's the time to ask. Leave it on your own. Good job. All right. So this guy here, this ecology question, sociology question on ethics. So I want you to pluck out the information again from the question. So you're looking for your N, you're looking for your P, finding your Q, and then your R values are going to change, okay, for each one. This is your classwork / homework question, okay? So if you don't finish this in class, you are going to finish it for homework. I am going to check to make sure that you guys have the correct NP and Q in a couple minutes, just before you start calculating. I don't want to be calculating with the wrong numbers. It's a real hot mess. Yes, yes. All right. I see we're gonna have to put our phones up. Oh my God. Too many people are on the phone. Wait. Yeah. This is only gonna get harder, kids. The first half of this year is super duper easy to make. From this point out, you're really gonna want to pay attention and hear and do these things, because now it's gonna build. And it's not gonna go away. To get you there, you just gotta be paying attention. Let's do it first. So while you guys get down your important info and find your NP and Q, we're gonna check in with you in just a sec to make sure that you got the right ones. You say who? Oh. Oh. Let's see. We got friends. Beautiful, 7, yes, right? There's 7 adults. What's the probability of doing this, wearing it and returning it? 10%, right? So that's your probability of success. And then people that don't, the other 90%. And then, like I said, now you're gonna do your different R values for A, B, and C, calculate them, all that good stuff. So you're gonna finish up for homework. Sound good? If not, too bad, so sad, do it anyway. Happy Monday. 2 more weeks till vacation.